It's almost that time of year again. The deadline for contributing to an RRSP is March 1st. We're going to try to help you decide if it's the right vehicle for your retirement savings, as well as what you probably shouldn't do with the money already in it. The RRSP was created to help save for retirement. There are tax consequences associated with withdrawals, and yet, according to a recent survey, respondents say they continue to dip into RRSPs for short-term expenses. 20% paid off debt, 21% needed money for an emergency, 23% paid for living expenses, and 27% bought a home, which can be done without penalty only if it's your first home and you pay it back over time. But the trend is only getting worse. Respondents report withdrawals are 21% higher than just last year. So how severe are the tax implications for this? And what's a better solution for short-term expenses? Joining us to discuss this is Diane McCurdy. She's the founder of McCurdy Financial Planning. It's nice to see you. Let's start with that question that I sort of teed this up with about what are the tax implications? How bad a move can this be if you're dipping into your RRSPs to cover off short-term expenses?
It's not a good idea to be dipping into your RRSPs because when you take the money out, it's coming out at your highest marginal tax rate. So that's a good reason of putting it in, but taking it out, it can be very painful. And that's why you're saving for when you retire, so that your income won't be as high and you won't be taxed at the worst possible way. So it's the worst solution by all means.
But I mean, I know people, and I think, I imagine everybody watching this has felt this debate unfold in their head at one time or another, where you've got some debt, you've got some RRSP savings, pay down the debt now, says one part of your brain. Another part says, no, figure out another way to do that and leave your RRSPs where they are. How do you battle out that angel and devil standing on your shoulder?
Well, you know, it is difficult because people have really high expectations of what they have to have today. And I think you start out by doing a budget and you keep a record of all your spending and what are your needs versus your wants. I mean, today a lot of people think they have to go on a vacation every year. That could be going towards debt. That could be going to an emergency savings. It could be going towards your RRSP for the future. So you really need to look at your whole picture. But for sure, you don't want to take money out of your RRSP. That's really the last resort.
But there are people who find themselves, I get that planning is the best solution to this and writing everything down. I'm a huge advocate of that because it really helps you keep track of it. But especially at this time of year, we've got Christmas is only a couple of months behind us now. The credit card bills have come in and you go, oh, wait a second, I'm in more debt than I thought I was. There was an unexpected payment on the car that you had to do. And now you're in a pinch and you're looking at, a massive credit card bill with high interest rates and you've got that money in the RRSPs. If you're in that pinch, is there a different, is it taking out a short-term loan so you can pay that down at a lower rate?
I was just going to say, take a really short-term line of credit because the interest rate is really low. But really, really be careful because a lot of people start with that line of credit and then they start to feel like it's an extension of their paycheck, and it's not. So, yes, if you're going to be paying 18% interest rates, yes, do that, but make sure it fits into your budget, that you pay it off as quickly as possible, and get back into the savings mode, not the spending mode.
The interesting thing to me in this BMO report that sort of tracked this increase in dipping into your RRSPs is that they've been tracking this for years and have seen people not only doing it more often, but taking now more money out. Does that match with what you're seeing on the ground? Are you seeing these trends play out in real life?
I think what I'm seeing, and with our clients, of course, we're trying to get them in a position that they never have to do that. But with people coming to us, absolutely, I see that they've taken on huge mortgages. I think that's the biggest one, especially for young people. But at the same time, they feel they have to get a safe car for their children. So instead of getting a $30,000 car, they're getting a $60,000 car. So they're just piling debt on top of it. And I think you really have to have a hard look because it's going to get you in the glue. You want to have your home, but at the same time, you have to live day to day. And I think just be really careful. What are your priorities? So you could start, right now, like you're saying with the Christmas debt, maybe in a pinch you have to do that. Go and get some advice. And if you can't afford advice, credit counseling will give you advice for free.
Right. And just lastly, and really quickly, it turns out we're better savers than we are investors. What do you tell clients about if you are putting that money aside, that's great, but try to get it to grow a little bit, right?
Well, the best way, obviously, especially in its volatile markets right now, is to dollar cost average. That means that you put in regularly every month. But say you have a lump sum right now that you want to get into your RRSP and you want to get that tax deduction. So put it in right now and then dollar cost average it over some investments over the next year. And then that way, you're getting these ups and downs, and then continue to do it monthly, and you'll be far better off than trying to put bits and pieces all the time or trying to time the market.
Sound advice, Diane. Thanks for this.
Oh, my pleasure.
Diane McCurdy is the founder of McCurdy Financial Planning.